Right, hey, shalom, shalom. Before I get started, as always, I want to give all praise to our power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four winds of the earth. Okay? As you can see in the title, the third woe cometh quickly. Alright? And then, of course, this is dealing with the war to end all wars. Alright? And what I have is a little piece of this video uploaded by Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrian. And I also have an article that I want to bring out. And of course, we're going to hit the scripts. But before I do that, you know, this is basically just an announcement, PSA or what have you. GMS Rock Solid Foundation 2 is no longer. Esau didn't even give me a reason. I was having problems with it Saturday at the camp, going live, and I think that's when he clipped it, because I couldn't access it. I was, you know, turning it off and on, and now I'm trying to get into it, and you know, it basically it can't be found. You know, there was no reason, no referee showed up with the red card or nothing. They just clipped the page. So I'll be uploading on this page, as well as Watazak Bungard 3, and I believe I'm gonna make a GMS Rock Solid Foundation 3. You know, work must go on. All right, so with that being said, let's jump right into this. Before we play this video, I want to read this scripture where I get the title, Revelation 11 and 14. Okay? Because the war that's going to end all wars, the Heavenly Father is turning it up. Okay? And we must remember, us hearing this knowledge, we know that the reason these things are happening on the planet Earth is because the Most High wants them to happen. This is a part of His word. Right, as it is written in Isaiah 55, His words shall not return unto Him void. Okay? So these things of this war that's coming, we want it to come. Unlike all other, like even this man here, Paul, and you got the different preppers, like literally all social media guys like Canadian Prepper, New York Prepper, this guy Off-Grid. I mean, there's so many of them. Full Spectrum. They're all talking about this war with Russia, all right? But they are not linking it to the scriptures, all right? This is the war that's going to end all wars, and the war that's going to bring in the deliverance of the Lord's elect, all right, of the nation of Israel. Okay? So, like I said, let's go to Revelation 11 and 14th verse, and we're gonna go right into this thing, all right? Revelation 11 and 14, it says, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." All right, and we know and understand that woe is synonymous with war, destruction. All right, and in this case, it's war. Okay, which is the third war's war, which is the war that's going to end all these wars. All right. So let's play this and then we're going to get this article right after it. Okay? Make sure I got the volume up. Okay.
This is the ship. This is the...
Salakia. Now that he's going into this article that he has with a little video, and this actually came out a month ago. Okay? This came out a month ago, and now these tanks that were shipped from the U.S. are being distributed in the region to come up against Russia. All right, right along with the different NATO allies. All right, this is why the title of his video is "Breaking News: America at War. NATO and the U.S. military confront Russia directly in Ukraine." And this is what they're shipping all these tanks over here for. All right, and he gonna explain. I mean, this they got a lot of war equipment over there ready to go. Okay, let's listen.
The warship that you're looking at right now, they have they're unloading this. This was last month, folks. This was in December last month, and they're unloading part of these tanks and Bradley fighting vehicles from the ship. So this is the ship right here. If you can see right over here on the left, the Ark Integrity. So this is one of our large transport ships that we move a lot of heavy military equipment around the world. Ark Integrity. And this equipment was unloaded in Poland last month. And this was just the first batch, folks. This was just the first batch of U.S. military equipment. And as you are looking on the screen, you can see it's still painted in desert camo colors. All of these tanks, the Humvees, all of these Abram tanks, they are all still painted in the desert camo color, the sand color. So they're going to be using them against Russia. And like I said, all of this equipment was unloaded last month, and this was just the first shipment. So, folks, there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of Abrams tanks, armored personnel carriers, Bradley fighting vehicles, Leopard tanks. They're all going to be going into Ukraine. He said, Polish-Ukrainian Confederation. The main logistical hub for supplying the armed forces of Ukraine has long been neighboring Poland and the border town.
Well, that's basically the point I wanted from that, just to show that clip of all those tanks, right? And this was last month, so we're just about to end January of 2023. Okay, so you know they've shipped over a whole nother batch. Like he said, that was just the first batch, right? Now let's go here to RT News, and this was an article uploaded yesterday. Okay, well, in their time it was today, but this was uploaded yesterday or last night. And as you can see, the title, okay, U.S. tanks will be destroyed in Ukraine, Moscow. Okay, and you've seen the Russian government, they've been placing anti-missile defense systems on roofs and different strategic locations in their region. All right, so this thing is getting ready to jump off, and if this is getting ready to jump off, you already know the administering of the CHIP is getting ready to jump off, where it's going to be made mandatory. Jacob's trouble is finna be full blown out here. Famine is finna be full blown. Okay, the distress upon these people out here is getting ready to be full blown in their faces. in everybody's faces, okay, with these type of activities and events that are transpiring in the planet Earth, okay? So with all them tanks that the U.S. is sending over, this is what Russia said about those tanks. They will be destroyed in Ukraine, okay? Now I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to just show you this one. Another video. Another article, okay? This one, it says, Germany green lights Leopard tanks for Ukraine. So these are all allies of NATO bringing their tanks over into Ukraine, okay? So this thing is getting ready to jump all the way off, okay? It's just a matter of time when Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai sees it fit. Okay, here's another one. Germany approves Leopard tank deliveries to Ukraine. Okay, so not only is there U.S. Tanks, but you got Germany tanks. Okay, so this is a all-out assault or a show of force as of right now against Russia by NATO, okay? So we're getting ready to see Article 5 be straight up put into play, okay, against Russia. Now let's go back to this article I had earlier, or just a little bit ago, okay? And let's read this. It says, Russia's envoy to the U.S. said Washington seeks to inflict a strategic defeat using Ukraine as a proxy. So Russia is up in, they not stupid. They see what the West is doing. All right? It says any American battle tank sent to Ukraine will be destroyed by Russian forces. Moscow's ambassador to the U.S. has warned. After media reports said the White House now plans to supply Kiev with heavy armor despite its previous refusals, asked about the potential shipment of M1 Abrams M1 Abrams main battle tank to Ukraine. Russia's ambassador to the U.S., Anatoly Antonov, said the move would only escalate American involvement in the conflict and goes far beyond offering defensive weapons. If a decision to transfer to Kiev M1 Abrams is made, American tanks without any doubt will be destroyed, as all other samples of NATO military equipment, the envoy said. So they basically saying, if y'all want the smoke, we gonna bring it all to you, okay? Adding that the Americans are constantly raising the bar of military assistance to their puppet government, all right? You know, that's, pretty much what I wanted from this. But if I remember, I'll place this link in the description box. It's not a long read. But basically, there's no more, the cyber attacks, the currency wars and everything that we've been seeing throughout the years, all right, between these two superpowers is getting ready to turn into a full-blown, full-scale war, which will end nuclear, okay? Now, with that being said, let's go to the book of Isaiah. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verses 5 and 6. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. And that's how this war is getting ready to start. This is why they're positioning their equipment. All right? this is how this war is going to start. It's going to start out as a regular, conventional, modern war. All right? The guns, the tanks, bombs, surface-to-air missiles, and things of that nature. You know, real noisy, a lot of gunshots, a lot of gunplay, and of course, a lot of dead bodies. All right? But it's going to end just like this. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. All right? And that's, of course, talking about the nuclear missiles. Okay? Because it will escalate to that point. I was listening to the Canadian prepper, and he even said that. And he's never gone into the scriptures. Okay? He even said when you have two superpowers going into a head-on conflict, the chances of it escalating to a nuclear exchange is very high, because it will escalate to the point to where nuclear missiles will fly, because it's Bible prophecy. Okay, and there will be a lot of people dead out here. Okay, this is the judgment that the Heavenly Father has prescribed first and foremost upon Esau, Edom, and the rest of you heathen that are here in Babylon and throughout the world, and 2/3 of his own people. All right? This is the judgment that was said to go forth. Hang on real quick.
They're ready to sign.
Oh, already? Cool.
Yep.
All right. Just a second. Bear with me. So like I said, this is that judgment that is said to go forth. All right? And you're going to have billions of people destroyed. All right? Land masses destroyed. All right? America as a landmass will be 100% destroyed and turned into a desert. Thus saith the Bible. Okay? And this is where we're at. All right? You can't turn back the hands of time. Matter of fact, just yesterday, they moved the doomsday clock to a minute and a half towards midnight. Okay? So we're looking at 11:58 and 30 seconds p.m. Okay? And they're saying the chances of total annihilation of, they say, humankind because of the two superpowers with these nuclear missiles, but they don't understand the scriptures. Okay? Because all humans will not be destroyed. All right? There will be a lot of people dead due to nuclear destruction. All right, bro. All right, bro. Thanks. Yeah, we up. Salakia, like I said, it's going to be a lot of people destroyed in this nuclear destruction. All right? As it is written in Isaiah 66 and 16, the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? These are the Lord's missiles. The Most High is the one who's mustering the host to this battle. All right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. All right? Verse 2. It says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. And this is why he's gathering them. This is why he's getting them ready to fight. He's getting them ready for the war. Because his indignation is the one that's going to destroy these nations. All right, so all the Lord's doing. Okay, it says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them; he hath delivered them to the slaughter." And this is what you're seeing. They moving tanks. I just showed you the video, okay, of all them tanks going to Ukraine, okay. I mean, it's just it's escalating, okay, to the point to when it goes down, it ain't gonna stop until the missiles destroy America and Yahweh Shai and his angels deliver the elect. That's when it's gonna stop. All right, it's gonna be on 10 once it gets cracking. Okay, and we are very close for this thing to being set off. All right. So let me go back to Isaiah verse 2 again. All right. It says, just a second. It says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them; he hath delivered them to the slaughter." All right. "Their slain also shall be cast out," and this is why I say it's going to start as a regular war. Okay. On foot combat. With all these nations involved, okay? With all these nations involved, there's going to be a major conflict, and Persia's going to be involved. China's going to be involved. Everybody on the earth that has a standing military will be involved in this war, okay? All to be destroyed, okay? It says, "Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood." Okay? It says, "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll," because that's how it's going to end. It's going to end to where Esau's rulership is going to be rolled together as a scroll. All right, in that mushroom cloud, because that's how it's all gonna end for this devil. It's gonna end with a great big mushroom cloud, destroying his enterprise, destroying his attempt to set up the new world order. Okay. Verse 4 again, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down," meaning their armies. Okay? "As the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree." Okay? "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea," which is Esau, Edom, okay, the so-called white man, okay, "and upon the people of my curse to judgment," because this is your judgment for all the wickedness that you've sown on the planet Earth. Talking to you Edomites, you elite banking families, all right, and you average Edomites out there. All right, for all the wickedness that you've sown on the planet Earth, this is why the Lord is getting ready to destroy you and your system. okay, for the wickedness that you have sown on the planet Earth, okay? Now, from here, I'm going to go to this last scripture, time's sake. This is Job, the 20th chapter. It says, this is Job chapter 20. And 24 says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Now that iron weapon and the bow of steel is strictly dealing with the ICBM missiles. Okay? That's what that's talking about. It says, verse 25, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. And that's what's going to make these devils so terrified. When these missiles get to flying, you hear these devils. When you hear these Edomites, you can hear the fear in their voice of this getting ready to happen. All right? You have American citizens, all right, that are patriotic to the heart, but they're praying that Russia wins the war. That way there won't be a nuclear exchange. But I'm sorry to tell y'all, or let me rephrase that. I'm happy to tell you that there will be no regular war. It will escalate to a nuclear exchange, and it will escalate to the point to where all of America is totally destroyed. All of it, 100%, from California to New York. All right, from up north, Illinois to Texas. All of America will be destroyed with these nuclear missiles because of the perpetual wickedness that you have sown on the planet Earth. Okay? This is why this is happening to you devils. It says, it is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall, of his gall. Terrors are upon him. And I'm gonna leave a video at the end of this video to where you can hear these Edomites I was just talking about. They were having a conversation about this war. And basically he said, we want everybody to pray that Russia wins the war. And this is a U.S. citizen. Because the people of the U.S. know that their government is corrupt. They've woken up to the fact that this man is corrupt to the utmost. All right? It says, 26, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. All right? Because if you're left here, it's over for you. There will be no hiding out in the sewers until the smoke clears. Okay? If you're left on the soils of America, when the missiles fly, you gonna have to be born again in the kingdom. Okay? That's what's gonna happen. All right? These things are getting ready to happen. And in the video I'm gonna leave at the end, just listen to their voices. Listen to see how concerned they are. Because deep down within all these Edomites, every last one of them, deep down within themselves, they know that this nuclear war that's coming is their judgment. This is why they don't want it to happen. Okay? But it's going to happen. All right? And that's going to be the end of you as far as ruling on the planet Earth. So I'm going to end it there. Lord will, this was edifying and informative to the hopeful elect. Stay prayed up. Keep the faith. pray for one another, all right? Because it's getting ready to get real, and it's getting ready to be real dangerous going outside, man. So call Halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. It's on to the next video. Shalom.
Could you envisage Russia hitting a NATO target outside of Ukraine? You know, train track in Poland, moving Leopard tanks, for example, towards Ukraine. Do you see that being a possibility? Would Russia take a step like that?
Let's put it this way. General Zaluzhny, the chief of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, in an interview with The Economist magazine last year, said that in order for him to be able to win against Russia, he would need 300 tanks, 500 infantry fighting vehicles, 500 artillery pieces, and unlimited ammunition, basically 2 divisions worth of equipment that would enable him to launch an offensive against the city of Melitopol. And in doing so, he would sever the land bridge connecting Russia with Crimea, and then he would be able to threaten Crimea. So let's say that NATO provides General Zaluzhny with the equipment he needs and the trained resources he needs, and he is able to successfully carry out this attack, and he captures Melitopol, putting Crimea at risk. Russia will not sit by idly, and Russia will do everything necessary to disrupt the flow of weaponry into Ukraine, which means Russia will strike targets in Poland, in Germany, and elsewhere. So, NATO has to be careful what they ask for, because if they actually get what they claim they want, it will be a general war between Russia and NATO.
And do you think at that point NATO would sober up and actually begin the art of diplomacy to try to find a solution, a political solution here?
No, I don't believe so. Unfortunately, NATO is on autopilot at that point, and Article 5 would be invoked. And there are enough irresponsible players, especially amongst the new European members, that there would be a ground war between NATO and Russia that would inevitably lead to a general nuclear exchange and termination of all life on Earth as we know it.
So
basically what I'm saying is NATO is a suicide pill for the world. The world needs to understand that. NATO doesn't protect anybody.
Yeah, Scott, well said. So how do we stop that? How do we prevent that scenario?
We have nothing to do with it, unfortunately. The die has been cast. Russia has to win. And I say this as an American who spent much of my adult life training to close with and destroy the Russian enemy through firepower and maneuver. It's not as though I grew up wanting a Russian victory. But when I take a look at the situation in the world today, and I take a look at the fact that this Ukrainian conflict is derived from 2 decades of warlike behavior and rhetoric on the part of NATO, the United States, and others against Russia, seeking to use Ukraine as a proxy to damage, destroy, undermine, and ultimately cause the downfall of Russia. A Russian victory is the only thing that takes us off that path. And fortunately for the world, Russia is positioned to be able to carry out this victory. And I think anybody in the world, and this is the greatest irony of all, if you're someone who loves peace, somebody who hates war, somebody who wants a world where people live in peaceful coexistence, pray for a Russian victory. Pray for a Russian victory, because that's the only thing that will bring peace to the world.
Scott Ritter, thank you very much for your